Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Erotic Therapy. I'm super excited to be back with another episode of Erotic Therapy. My name is Jeremy, and I am the founder of J&J Erotic Vibes. Super excited to be back with another episode. Thank you all so much for the love, the support, and the feedback. It's all encouragement. Definitely, I'm going to be up here for a quick, segment just to be able to, get some things off my chest and be here with my co-host, Coach Kima, who will be joining me shortly. I just want to say, this is a journey for me through self love, through self care, through just being able to pour into myself as I'm learning more and more about who I'm becoming as a man, but also being able to share it with other kings and queens that are able to pour into me as well. I definitely think that there's so many things that I can learn from you all, but I can also be able to learn about myself. I was recently having a conversation with Coach Kimo, who's going to be joining me soon, and we were talking about pouring into yourselves and just being able to become the best version of ourselves by thinking about why we often do what we do. We think, we say, and we actually act in a certain way, and we do things because there is an intent behind it, and we're creating and we're attracting some sort of energy by doing what we're doing. And so I'm super excited to have this conversation with Coach Kimo, who's just joined the live. I just want to get right into it. It's, a lot of things are on my mind, and I'm not going to ever not show up for you all unless it's an emergency. So Coach Kima is going to join the live, and she's going to give us some feedback as well. She's going to, raise up the energy a little bit too. And I'm just super excited to be back with you all today. It's a phenomenal day outside. I hope you all are gearing up for the weekend. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. We're getting into the 60s and 70s where I'm at here. And so I'm super excited to, be here with you all and just share some energy with you all. And hopefully you all pour into me as well. And I can be able to, go about my day and just be able to just be productive as well. So we're going to be up here for about 30 minutes. I want you all to watch the replay. I want you all to grab the show notes. They'll be coming within the next couple of days. I definitely am going to give Coach Kima some time so she can join the live when she gets fit and when she sees fit and when she's ready. And then we're going to be able to just start this conversation. I know from me, myself, and I definitely want to talk about just what Coach Kima had told me about earlier in our conversation, which is basically about just taking care of yourself and looking at yourself in the mirror and just think, speak, and act to be able to attract the type of people that you want around you. That's what I'm interested in discussing. And she has some things that she's going to discuss as well. What's up? What's up? What's up? How are you?
I'm all right. The first thing, is it an echo?
No, I don't hear echo. I'm not really paying attention to it. So you say something again and I might be able to hear it.
I just want to make sure because I have it hooked to my car. So sometimes I know it'll be a little feedback.
Got you, got you, got you. Now, I don't really hear any feedback over here.
Okay.
I just see you driving and I want you to be safe. So, I
Oh,
won't say
yeah,
that.
I'm good. It normally takes 10 minutes to get from my house to the store, but when you get behind somebody slow, it might take a little bit longer. But I'm at the store. I'm finna park now.
Got you, got you, got you. Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. And so once you park, I want you to introduce yourself. But while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself for the people that are joining right now. Guys, my name is Jeremy. I am the founder of J&J Erotic Vibes. I'm an erotic ghostwriter, and I am someone who curates intimate and pleasurable erotic stories through love languages that we are able to actually utilize in building relationships. And Coach Kima, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I am Coach Kima. I am a sexual intimacy coach. I help women and couples create healthy relationships and sexual fulfillment. The best sex you're gonna have is gonna be in a healthy relationship, and people have not realized that yet.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yep. So if you're joining the live, please go ahead and share this live with 5 people. I would love it if your community can hear this conversation. They need to. This is going to be some amazing gems that we're going to drop today. So go ahead and click that arrow button right there. Share this with 5 people, and let's dive right into it. So, Coach Kima, you shared an erotic tip this week for us to be able to take into consideration. What was that writing? What was that? I'm sorry. What was that erotic tip?
So this week's tip was for my ladies. A lot of time I hear women say, well, it's only so much you can do to a man. And I'm like, what? All of that body? It is so much that you can do to a man when you're providing oral. When you're trying to create a full experience for them, you have to make sure that you are setting aside time for every single thing. So just like a woman likes to be kissed from head to toe, some men like that as well. But we're not taught that. Like we're not taught to actually pay attention to the man's full body. We just think we drop down to their little positive, and their penis is the positive pole, but we drop down there and then it's like, what do I do next? You were supposed to do a whole lot of stuff before you got there, which is another reason why women say, oh, well, it takes him too long to climax, because you didn't get him aroused. He was not fully aroused. You just went down there and started doing something, and he was not fully ready. So when you create a whole experience around oral, it gives him time to become aroused. It gives him time to have more blood flow down there, which is going to make him climax not quicker really, but quicker to you once you get down there, because you made sure that he was completely aroused.
No, and that makes sense. And when I think about it too, as a man, like you just mentioned something that was it piqued my interest. Like that blood flow has to be down there. Like I
Yes.
don't do women have to actually have blood flow down there to get
Yes.
aroused? Like I
So
don't know.
have you ever seen the real size of a clitoris?
Uh no.
Okay.
I've explored them,
See,
but I would
I
love to.
wish I wish I had my little tool with me. A clitoris looks like a wishbone.
Okay.
So it is huge, and it goes down on the sides of your lips. So yes, she needs her full clitoris to be engorged with blood. So a lot of times when women orgasm, that's not their full orgasm. So if you edge them and continue to allow that blood to flow down there, they're gonna have a bigger orgasm, which a lot of times is why women squirt, why women gush, why women start orgasm and they cannot stop, because you have allowed enough blood flow to go down there. So a lot of times the reason why women don't climax is because they didn't get enough down there. So that first one that you give her, that's a basic orgasm. If you don't come behind that one, she's never really feeling true pleasure.
Got you. So basically, what you're saying is that the oral, like, if that could be a basic orgasm, like maybe fingering or maybe eating her out. But if you don't come behind that and maybe like penetrate and allow her to, climax again, then she's not really going to appreciate the experience.
Even before that though, because she has to be fully aroused. So even if you just go down there or you're fingering her, she's still not going to be fully aroused. You still have to create a full experience for her as well. So a lot of times you do start off there, but if you start out with a more tease, if you start off maybe kissing the full body and go down there, come back up, you got to play with people, tease them, make them feel like I'm coming. No, you're not yet. I'm not ready for you to. That is going to build that blood flow up and make them be able to climax harder. And that's going to be that extreme, like, wait a minute, what are you doing to me?
Yeah, and I mean, personally, I think you mentioned experience and you mentioned being able to kiss that man or that woman from head to toe. I'm someone that when I even go into oral, I want to be able to allow my woman to experience it in different ways. Do you think women get a greater climax being in different positions when they're being eaten out, like maybe versus being on all fours versus being on their back? Is that a difference for a
It's
woman?
gonna depend on that woman, and it's also gonna depend on whether or not she's trained herself to come that way.
Okay.
So your body is a playground, literally. But if you don't play on all the playgrounds, like if you don't play in all the areas, you don't know what's going on. So a lot of women will say, "Oh, well, I can only come on my back," or you hear men say, "Oh, I can't come from or I can't come from her riding." It's because you have not allowed yourself to come that way yet, so your body don't know how. So it comes with practice. So if she do want to be able to easily come on her knees, then that means she's going to have to practice it, allow you to spend time there getting to know that part of her and what it's going to take for her to come that way.
I can't hold you. Like I've nutted when I've been standing on the bed getting head, and I've nutted when I've been standing on the floor. I'm gonna let you know right now, on the bed is different, and it feels like I'm elevating in the clouds or something like that. And then I'm also like I'm thrusting her face on my on the what would you call it, the pleasure bone? What was it, like we like so like that felt different, and that felt better to me. I'm not gonna lie. And then it might have been the woman that was given the experience too, because I'm not gonna lie, like there's certain types of ways that women give head that I would say definitely allow me to get pleasure out of it. Speaking from this perspective of men, but like I definitely know that being able to like be in different positions, like as a taller man too, like on my back is kind of boring. I know, like even like standing up might be a little bit more comfortable because I'm like 6'2", so like I definitely don't want to catch a cramp while I'm getting, that experience and things like that. So I'll say, like, what are some ways that like you would say to be able to spice up that experience when you're in that oral fixation?
So it's gonna depend on your partner. So if, like you said, you're more comfortable standing up. So for you, she could sit you down. So she can sit you down in an actual chair, maybe handcuff you to the chair or something like that, and deprive one of your senses. Maybe she could blindfold you, or if she handcuffed, that means you can't touch her until she release you, and different things like that. So it's gonna depend on the partner, but you have to add that spice. Like, what are they not used to? That is the whole thing when it comes to the body. What is the body not used to? So if you are used to standing up, okay, let me put you in this way so I can see. Let me dominate you. Don't touch me. I said don't touch me. Don't move your hands. Don't do none of that because I have not given you permission yet.
I love that. I love that, and I think that's important too. I was saying, wow, I want to see what the blindfold looks like, because like I know when I'm looking at it, I'm thinking like, okay, how can I make myself feel that pleasure?
Yeah.
But I'm thinking if
With the
I,
blindfold, you
yeah,
can't anticipate what's going on. You just gotta wait and see where she touch you at. And she could have
exactly,
started from the front, and the next thing you know, she behind your back, and you like, wait a minute, how you get on my head, girl?
exactly.
How is you massaging my hair? You was just right here. So it's different things that you can do. You can add a feather, you can add toys, like you can add so much stuff to oral to tease your partner to arouse them even more. Just for a man, telling him not to touch you, it's something. What you mean? Don't touch me. That is gonna drive some men crazy because it's the domination of it. Especially if you are kind of a meek woman, or you're not loud or anything like that. You're not dominating. When you get in the bedroom and you dominate, they be like, "Oh, I like this side of you," especially in this area. So it's about appealing to your partner's fantasies, one, and appealing to the things that they are not used to.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited to be able to. I would say just like that's one of the reasons why I love having these conversations with you, because it definitely enables me to learn how I can be able to curate that experience. Because a lot of times we as men, we all we're thinking about ourselves when we're pleasuring our women. We're not allowing ourselves to be able to see how we can give that experience to a woman, and allow our tongues and our lips and our even just the way that we verbalize what we're doing to them to be able to allow that to take the experience to the next level. So what would you what are some like I would say tips you would give to the men out there that want to create a better oral or experience for women?
Get to know her full body. So when I say get to know her full body, you have to actually fine tooth comb her full body. And that's what my Key to Pleasure ebook is all about, fine tooth combing the full body. So it gives you the erogenous zones on the body, places that you probably like, ain't no zone right there, touch it, and I bet you it is. Like, it's different places on a woman's body that will drive her crazy. Two, you have to talk to her. So doing with that, you have to ask her, like, do you like this? Do you feel this? How does this feel? Would you like it harder? Would you like it softer? Get to know her, connect with her body, allow yourself to lay inside of her and kiss on her, talk to her, affirm her, do different things like that, because once your penis and her vagina connects, they will talk to each other. So once they start talking to each other, that's when the real pleasure happens. A lot of times the reason why women don't have vaginal orgasms, which people say, oh, that's one of the hardest orgasms to have. But in all honesty, once I found myself sexually, once I found my voice sexually, once I knew the things that I like, those are actually not that hard to have. It's just about connecting with your partner. But people are not taught to connect with their partner. Sex is just something physical, but it's so much deeper than that. Like, your connection is supposed to be like 5G. Like, you're supposed to
Hey,
be able to talk to
I
one
like that.
another without even using words. So when a woman have that vaginal orgasm, once she find herself, I'm telling you, she's not going to want to lose that again. But it's all about finding yourself, finding that partner that actually connects with your body, that actually can, his penis can talk to your vagina. Because I'm telling you, them waves, that energy that starts to connect, you can feel the energy flowing from one to the other. When you have that vaginal orgasm, it's going to be like waves going through. It's going to feel like, I'm telling you, it's the most amazing feeling ever. So I encourage women, find yourself sexually. Find what you like. Find the things that you desire and voice those things. Don't let a man just lay down with you and not please you. Say like, you gonna have to get me off. I don't care how long we stay in here. You gonna have
Hey,
to figure out a way
hey,
to get something
hey,
done.
man, take note to that too, because like I believe that pussies are the most amazing things on earth. So I will lay and you give me a pillow. I believe that I'm gonna stay there until you squirt all over this beer because I like it nice and sloppy.
And
But
see, most
well,
men are they with this, or either they're high, there's something, they're not fully there, they're messing with you and they don't value you, so they really not paying you any attention or all of that. So once they get to that point, the only thing they're trying to do is, you can't allow a man to do that to you because you are disrupting yourself. Bump
and
him.
that's a lot of energy too. Think about it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of energy to do that clapping too. Like I'm 33. Like if I can lay on my stomach or my back and be able to like go under you like I'm working on a car and just like lay there and your cheeks in my face, like I'm an ass man. So I love to just see some jiggly cheeks and just like yes, like so that's
But
I love that
and
too.
you said energy. It's a lot of energy to allow somebody to lay on top of you that does not value you. Imagine the energy that they is putting inside of you.
Exactly. So that's what I want to touch on. So like right, everybody, if you don't know, I'm an erotic ghostwriter. So how would you say oral pleasure like translates into a story? How would you portray that? Like how would let the people know like how that would like play out in your mind, oral like maybe like a story. How would like you like explaining how you're giving head? How would that play out in the erotic tale?
So to me, and it's not official, but oral is a love language. Because I always say happy women suck dick every day. So if your girl not sucking your thing every day, it's because she is not happy with you. It's a part of something that she is missing, and that is why you're not getting the things that you need. Because happy women is gonna do it every single day because it's something that they enjoy. It is their way of saying you mine. And I'm proving like you is mine. I'm happy with everything you're doing. So to me, in order to put that into a story, it could be like a fantasy. It could be like you're talking about a lollipop, but in reality, you're talking about something else because, no lie, women fantasize about that. Women fantasize about being able to go home. Oh, I can't wait to go home. I'm going to throw them on the bed. I'm going to do this. The same way men fantasize, women fantasize too. It's just that we have not been given the leeway to actually speak those things. But the same way you sit at home and you might be like, yeah, I'm going to have it this way and that way, that she do the same thing. I can't wait till he get home and do this. I can't wait till he do this. So it could be like a fantasy. She could be sitting at her desk typing on her computer and she just drift off into something, and all of a sudden she's thinking about all of these things that she's gonna do in order to break this man down.
I'm not gonna
And not
lie. Yep, I'm not gonna lie. So like this week, I had the pleasure. For those of you all that know, I write erotic stories. Like I said, for Paisley, and so like I had the pleasure of writing one. And it was like basically being at work and that man kind of like go on his lunch break, and so like I'm as I have these conversations throughout the week, I always want to play out different fantasies because it's going to allow me to write them out in stories and stuff like that. So like that does make sense though. Like I've always thought about it from the man's perspective in terms of like, okay, like what would the man want on the lunch break? So you saying like women want that on the lunch break too? Like
The average man and women think about sex 19 times a day.
I think about it 30. I don't know about y'all. Like
So like it's not anything that is foreign. It's just that women have not been given the option to speak about the things that they desire. For a long time, we was not even taught that our pleasure mattered. It was just for us to have babies, and it was supposed to be about y'all. But no, it's 2023. This is about us. If us is not getting off, then what is we doing this for? You can do it by yourself if it's only for you.
exactly. Yes. 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 I love that because like I know for me, I've always like I've with the disability, different ability. I live with cerebral palsy and epilepsy, so I'm the mind connecting to my lower head and having the blood and flow down there was a hard thing at first. Now that I've gotten in tune with it, that's being said, I had to learn how to eat pussy first before I was fucking. So, like me personally, going straight into penetration without having that foreplay is a foreign language. I need to eat that pussy so my dick can get hard. Like, and so like I believe that like that whole experience that we're talking about, like curating that and letting it be about us and we instead of I, that is essential. And so like guys, take note because she's speaking some truth here.
Yeah, you have to make sure that you are fully paying attention to that woman's body. And women, if that man is not fully paying attention to your body, maybe he's not into you like that. And maybe you need to tell him, like, listen, what's going on? Because I have needs too. I have things that I desire too. And no, I know people be like, oh, well, I, I've had people say they'll let somebody hit before they let somebody eat them. And I've also had people say, I let somebody give me oral before I let somebody hit. No matter how you put it, you can catch something. So if you don't trust the person enough to do one or the other, you shouldn't trust them at all. Before you lay down with anybody, you should be going to get tested. I'm an advocate for that. I don't care if it's first date, whatever. Listen, we're going to have to lay these paperwork side by side before we can do anything because it's time out for playing with your life. So if you don't trust them enough to let them provide oral, then you should not trust them enough to beat your back out. Vice versa.
That's truth. I love that. I really do appreciate that. And speaking of that, so what should that process look like in terms of like we talk about curating this experience and having it so that each man and woman get pleasure? What should the process of like intimacy and romance look like outside of the bedroom leading up to that? Because or inside of it, because like I ain't gonna lie, you know, some women you could give oral in the car, at the park, in the movie theater. So like, what should it look like leading up to that? What's
So that is where the whole sex language thing come in.
okay?
Because when you learn your partner's sex language, you learn what they're gonna need before. This involves paying attention to your partner. If you don't want to take the sex language course, that means you need to pay attention to your partner. What do you do that gets them hot? What do you do that makes them feel like that you can tell that when they get in the bedroom, oh, they're ready now? So is it when you help them around the house? Is it when they come home and you got them a drink at the door? What is it that you need to do for your partner? Is it little bitty shorts? Is it lingerie? Is it gray sweatpants? Is it you need to walk up behind her and kiss her on the back of the neck? What is it that is gonna provide that vibe that you need for you guys to mesh so when she get in the bedroom or so when he get in the bedroom, he already know what's up? But one thing I want to say, if you maintain a home like that, so if you maintain one of those things where when the husband get home, you meet him at the door, when the wife get home, you meet her at the door, or you both help throughout the day, you both are lovey-dovey, kissy-kissy, 9 times out of 10, when you get in the bedroom, that don't shut off. But the problem is people try to go into the bedroom and just start. No, this should have started before then. So if you maintain that lovey-dovey feeling before you leave in the morning, you kiss, you pray, you say your affirmations together, you do all of those things. If you maintain that, you don't have to worry about your bedroom lacking because when you get in there, they gonna be used to you touching them. It's gonna be like, yes, let's get this going.
let me ask you this. I love that and I appreciate that. And as someone that has kind of stepped back, I'm single, I'm dating, and I'm looking to be able to build a friendship platonically to be able to actually learn more about the woman without like being able to be intimate or like actually get into that experience. You mentioned being able to actually just curate that vibe and actually know, okay, that this woman or this man is someone that I can, see myself with that energy and that flow of just us being around each other. How can like a man or woman that's watching this live like, no, this is someone that I can spend time with, and that energy translates into sexual frequencies that I want to explore, if that makes sense.
So first you have to make sure that you know what you need. So it's what do you need from a person? Do you need time? Do you need motivation? Do you need affirmations? What do you need from a person? Then you'll know what you're looking for in a person. So once you know what you're looking for in a person, you can go through the thing like, oh, do they check these blocks? Do they check these blocks? Then you start asking questions, questions that matter to you. So I just dropped 13 questions on my Patreon for dating to ask people, and then I also give you the follow-up questions and what you can learn from each of these questions. So say you do want to have sex, and it might be like, so how important is sex to you? Because if a person be like, oh, well, it's really not important to me, like I'm good maybe once a month, and you like to have sex 3 times a week, that's not gonna work for you. Ain't no compromising there most of the time because they're gonna be like, listen, I told you from jump I ain't like it. So that is something that you have to ask your partner. Are you open to experimenting? A lot of people just like missionary, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you are a person who likes to experiment, that is gonna bother you. And it's not for you to have to shut yourself down because they don't want it. No, you're not the person for me. And people will say like, well, sex is not that important, but if it's something that's going to later make or break the relationship, it is important because sometimes you get in a tisk and you might just be like, listen, I just want to fuck, and you don't even want to give me none. Then what happens? We got this bond relationship, but we cannot mesh on this level, and it is causing problems. that's why
Recently,
people
yep.
that's why people get in relationships and it's like, oh well, sex is not that important, so why is you cheating?
And I can't hold you. Like recently, like I had a conversation. Like I like I'll I'll get like I would say like checks of who I'm talking to in terms of like women in terms of like their energy and their flow, and I'm still working on who I am. I'm focusing on my thoughts, my ideas, and my actions. And so like as I'm listening to some women and I'm like hearing where they're at, I really take heed to like basically what it is that they're talking about, because I want to know if they're aligning mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and professionally. Like, what is it sexually that like because everything, if it's lining up, then what's your sex like?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a slut respectfully? Like, because we're like, if we get into an argument, I just want to fuck. Like, I ain't gonna be on no. I don't want you to be on no schoolgirl stuff. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but like. I'm just gonna want to dick you down, and like I need that. So like I feel like that's what I be thinking, and like why do women like come at men somewhere when they like if we are going about that route and then we ask questions about that and we're curious, like why do you think we a fuck nigga or we this we that and the third, like what's wrong with that?
I don't know if they feel like you are a fuck nigga for asking or if they're just not used to you asking. They're
Okay.
not used to being asked that. People are not used to having conversations around sex because sex has been so taboo. So when you come to somebody, like, in all honesty, my last relationship, before we even started having sex, I said, listen, I'm grown, you grown. So we finna have this grown person conversation. How many times do you like to have sex? Like, and I'm a woman and I went to him like that. So it's all about a person getting used to the fact that this is going to be important going forth in relationships. It's no more hush hush about this. Because I'm not finna lay in the bed beside you if you're not gonna be able to do with the things that I need you to do to me, because that's gonna frustrate me. And as a person, you have to know those things about yourself. So just giving a disclaimer before, like, hey, listen, I know we haven't talked about this before. This may be unusual to you, but this is something that I need to know because it is important to me. I don't know how important it is to you, but it is important to me. And I need you to be honest, because I don't want to get later on down the road and you tell me one thing here and later on you completely go somewhere else, because I'm telling you now it's going to be a problem. And
Yeah.
that way people are, they know, like, you know what you're getting yourself into. If I tell you, oh, I like head, and you know you don't like giving head, you need to send me about my way. Don't be trying to hold me hostage and tell me what I like should not be good, or I should just not have it just because you don't like it. No, that's unfair to me. So, and you have to know that you deserve these things. So don't let nobody tell you like, oh, why are you coming to me like that? Because I'm grown and you grown. And I
Exactly.
like it, and I'm hoping that you do. If you don't, just let me know and I can move on.
That's what, hey, I mean, that's phenomenal. I mean, I think that that's the best advice that we can give today, because you know, as I get into my 30s, as I'm coming into the full, like I would say, just perspective and vision of who I want to be. I was watching something this past week, and it gave me like a profound message. I'm all about less words for more impact. It said, have a vision, be vocal, and be vulnerable. And I think as a man, especially as a black man, vulnerability is not taught. Being vocal sometimes can be stumped upon because we don't want to let people understand who we are, what we want, and why we want it. And then having a vision can be miscued because of people's expectations that they have and limitations that they put on you, forces you outside of your comfort zone. When you do get uncomfortable, the magic doesn't happen because you're so afraid of what others will think. So I love that. And I want to say thank you. I want to say I appreciate you because you have been there for me in times when I just needed someone to talk to, like cases in point being today. So I definitely wanted to say thank you for that. I know we reached the 1:30 mark, and I know I wanted to stick to that time. So I really wanted to say to you, definitely drop some last minute gems, give us some tips where people can find your products and services this week, and you know, just let us know some last minute you know, takeaways, and then we're gonna get out of here.
Okay, so first things first, be okay with being yourself. And that's for men or women. I know a lot of times people say, oh, well, the woman got to do this. And men feel like they have been told that no matter what, the woman has to be happy and the man just has to settle. I don't care if you are a man or a woman. Do not settle. Do not drop your boundaries. Do not lower your standards for any man or any woman. I don't care. Be your authentic self. If something matters to you, it matters to you. If she not doing it the way you want her to do it, you need to tell her. If he not doing it the way you want him to do it, you need to tell him. Do not be okay with people shortcoming what you feel like you deserve. Number two, make sure that you know that you deserve the things that you are asking for and that you can reciprocate it. A lot of times we are asking for things that we know we could not give ourselves. So if you want a man that makes six figures, I'm gonna need you to make six figures, sis. If you want a woman who can maintain a household, I'm gonna need you to be able to maintain a household, bro. Like, and that's simple as that. Three, make sure y'all are getting tested. I just read an article the other day about a man that went around and gave like 10 women HIV. Get tested. I don't care how fine he is, how good his talk game is. I don't care about none of that, how many condoms y'all gonna use. Go and get tested. If that's too much for him or if that's too much for her, then y'all don't need to be sleeping together at all. Let that go. I've had a man say, oh, black women always want to add extra. If me asking you to get tested is something extra, then you don't need to be sleeping with me at all.
That's a fact.
So those
That's
are
a
my
fact.
three things. Make sure
That
y'all
is a
join me.
fact.
Y'all can join my Patreon. When it comes to oral, I have a whole oral class where I am visually showing you how to provide oral, how to create the experience. It's so many different oral positions that I ain't even know till I started researching myself. So I know y'all don't know. It is over 20, it's like over 20 or 30 different positions that you can put a man in to provide oral. Go and grab that class. You also learn how to do massages on the penis and everything in that class. So grab that oral class if you need help giving oral. If you don't know how to create the session, grab that and join my Patreon. Join my Patreon. It is so much information in there and you learn so much. I teach my classes in there periodically, but it's a fun time for you to learn how to create a healthy relationship and maintain sexual fulfillment.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I love it. I love it. I love it, guys and women, women and men. Like, hey, look. every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We here, whether if it's for a good time, a long time, we here to show up, show out, and have fun. So I'm super excited to, jump up here today. Thank you so much, Coach Kima, for the inspiration. I really appreciate it. For those of you that are watching the replay, be on the lookout for the show notes. Drop a comment down below right now if you made it this far. We definitely want to hear from you, and let us know what topics you want us to cover moving forward. So I hope you all have a great day. I hope you all are enjoying the sunshine and wherever you are. And just be safe, love, prosperity, and peace. All right? And we out.
All right. Have a good one,
You
y'all.
too.